Morning. This is your May 5th Tuesday Math Fundamental video, and we are on 14.7, and we're going to be talking about temperature. And I bet you're like, whew, I understand temperature, right? It's 100 degrees outside. That's really, really hot. Well, it's really important that we understand what I mean by 100 degrees, because if it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, whew, it's a really hot summer day. If it's 100 degrees Celsius, we're boiling, okay? So we can't live in 100 degrees Celsius. So it's really important to understand if we're talking about Celsius or we're talking about Fahrenheit. Now, we're used to using Fahrenheit temperatures. Okay, so we're going to start with Celsius temperatures, and they're going to be really strange to you. But we've talked about them before. If you look on page 422 in your book, you'll see a Celsius thermometer where water boils at 100. If it's 40 degrees Celsius, it's a very hot day outside. And that is kind of counterintuitive to what we know about Fahrenheit, right? So 37 degrees Celsius is our regular body temperature. The room temperature is typically around 20 degrees. Water freezes at 0, and negative 20 would be a very cold day, okay? So make sure that if it's talking about Celsius, you just come back and give a glance at that thermometer to help you answer some of those questions. Okay, so some common temperatures are when water freezes, water boils, room temperature, body temperature, a very cold day, and a very hot day. And that will help you understand that scale of the Celsius thermometer. Now look over on the next page, and we're going to look at the Fahrenheit temperatures that you are more used to. So water freezes at 32 degrees. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Room temperature is typically 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Body temperature is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. A very cold day would be -4, and a very hot day would be 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so now that we understand the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit, if someone gives us Celsius and we want to convert it to see what it means in Fahrenheit, which we understand better, I'm going to teach you today how to do that. Okay, so first we're going to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius, and you might want to write these rules down or make some notes about it to make sure you understand how to go from one to the other. So first we're going to go from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, and when we do that, they give us 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and they want us to convert it to how many degrees Celsius? Oh, excuse me, degrees Celsius. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we start out with our number, and we always subtract 32. So this is step 1. I'm just going to put a little box around it and put a number 1. This is step 1. Always subtract 32 degrees first. Okay, well, let's do that. 50 minus 32 is 18. Okay, so then step 2. So let's do step 1, subtract 32. Step 2 is going to be multiply by 5. Okay, so step 2 is multiply by 5. So we got 18, right? We subtracted by 32, we got 18. Our next step is to multiply by 5. So I'm going to do 18 times 5, which equals 40, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I get 90, okay? So I got 90 when I multiplied by 5. And step 3 is divide by 9. Okay? So I take my 90 and I divide by 9. So I get the answer of 10. Okay? So once I've done step 3, this is my answer. So 50 degrees equals 10 degrees Celsius. Okay? Kind of really easy steps. Just make sure you do them in order. First, subtract by 32, multiply by 5, divide by 9. Okay? So what are the rules then if we want to go from Celsius to Fahrenheit? Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay? So here they give us the problem of, they give us 12 degrees Celsius, and they want to know, well, how many degrees Fahrenheit is that? Okay, so step 1 is multiply by 9. Okay, so 12 times 9 is 108. Step 2 is divide by 5. I hope you're seeing a pattern that we're doing the opposite in the opposite direction. Divide by 5. So 108 divided by 5, okay, is 5 will go into 10 2 times, 10. 5 will go into 8 one time with 5 left over, 3. We need to add a decimal and annex a 0, bring it down. 5 will go into 36 times, so 21.6. And then our third step is to add 32. Okay, so 21.6 plus 30, whoops, I need to line them up properly, plus 32. I'm just going to put 0.0 so I can have them lined up. 6, bring down my decimal. So 53.6. So 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? And that's how you convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius and Celsius Fahrenheit. If it were me, I'd get a little index card or a piece of paper and I would write these rules. Fahrenheit to Celsius. Step 1, subtract 32. Rule number 2, multiply by 5. And I would write this whole rule down. And then I would write this rule underneath it, Celsius to Fahrenheit, what we do for rule step 1, step 2, and step 3. Okay, and then that should make your conversions go pretty simply today. Okay? All right, so I would like for you to do numbers 1 through 22. Marco Polo me if you need help.